Here we go. Hi, Reverend Paul Slackus, and I'm speaking to Teddy Nicholas. Hi, Teddy. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. And I'm speaking to Nicholas. Nicholas. Hi. How are you?
I'm well too.
Great. Well, actually, Nicholas and I had spoken about a book that he just created, and he's written some others. What was the name of the book again?
Pericles and Me,
Heracles and Me, and it's very interesting.
international book of international intrigue. It's not a history book, as some people think.
Intrigue, because this man has lived in a lot of places and is intriguing, and I have learned that at the same time. And so, but even more than his intrigue of living in all over the world and meeting all kinds of people all over the world, he met a woman, and this woman, he tells me somehow, whatever, because actually it started off, we had a little technical problem the first time when we started interviewing. And this woman, who's like sitting very close to him, was there helping him and working with him and loving him and wanting to make sure that the interview went well. It was a beautiful occasion. And so I said, I don't assume that anybody is anything, but somehow it squeaked out the reverendship. I said, "What a lovely two people." And he said, "And you said, I think you said, we've been married. Did I hear the word 60 or something like that?
61 years.
61 years. In Yiddish, we say Mazel Tov."
Thank you. It doesn't seem that long. It just, the time just went. We had four children. We had a bunch of careers. Teddy went to work as a top sales rep, and our children were all in college. Four children, they all went to college. Um, this is the truth. The day the last one left college, we had $60 left in our savings. But we made it. They had no college debt, and it was thanks to Teddy's going to work, because the colleges are so expensive now that I don't think anybody with an ordinary income can really afford it without borrowing money. But we got through it without that, and fortunately we had enough time for me to have another career, and we retired, and that's where we stand. But we both try to keep busy,
I'm
because
sure.
retirement doesn't mean you should go comatose.
I'm sure. I'm sure you're right. Okay, Teddy, as a reverend, I will ask. So where did you guys meet?
Oh, you're going to love this. We met in church.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes. In 1950, probably, I don't know, 56, 55, something like that. In the 50s, we both went to the same church. And Mickey was an altar boy.
Hard to imagine.
He was an altar boy, and I was in church, and I saw him, and that was it. And actually, then we also met, and then we really got to talk in Greek school.
Aha. In Greek. So you're both Greek?
Yes, we're
Yes,
both of Greek heritage. Yes,
So was it like a Greek Orthodox church?
that's
yes,
right.
it is. It's the one in Oakland near the University of Pittsburgh.
Aha. Okay. In Pennsylvania.
Uh huh.
All right. All right. Very, very. So what do you mean, you said, I mean, you could say it now, man, unless you don't want to. You saw him and that was it. Now that let's think about this comment.
But that's
Well, it's true.
that's about the way it was.
I saw him in the altar, and I thought, oh, he's cute. You know how a young kid
I think
talks.
she also
I
was
don't know
taking.
anything. I don't know. I don't know.
I think she
Just
was
saw,
taking
you saw he was cute.
pious.
I'm sorry.
She mistakenly thought I was pious, so that I
No,
never told her otherwise.
no. Pious is the if I understand, pious is more of a intellectual, a
That's
respectful,
right.
a religious commentary. She liked the way you looked. Looked. Physically, she was attracted to. I hope you don't mind me talking about this, because you guys got 61
Oh,
years in, and that's a big deal.
well,
That's all I want to say.
that's
That
the way.
looks are important.
Yeah, that's the way it
Right?
starts. It's a physical attraction, and
Yeah.
I used to joke that not only was she beautiful, but she was a fine, lovable, and an amiable companion, which I really wasn't thinking about when I first saw her, but it turned out to be so. And it seems that we're actually compatible. I mean, we've been cooped up with this virus and we haven't killed each other yet, and that's saying something. And we had 4 children to bind us together. And then our oldest son was born deaf, and that bound us even more tightly. We you'd think that would be the case, but we knew parents of deaf children who divorced because of the stress of raising a deaf child. Uh, he, by the way, is very successful in life. Went to college on an athletic scholarship as a high level engineer, so he's just fine. But we worked hard to get him there. Teddy actually taught him to speak, and
Wow.
she everything all day long. This is a chair. This is a table. This is a window, and I went
And
out.
it wasn't that fast
It
either.
wasn't that fast, no. And I went out and attacked the institutions to get him the right help. And
He did the outside work, I did
She
the
did
inside
inside work.
work. We put labels on everything, refrigerator, table, chair, so he could learn to read too at the same time.
we were the first people that we know of in our circle of friends who got a TV set with caption capability, so he could follow the TV, and that was actually quite important for him. It taught him a lot of vocabulary. He now speaks like a university graduate, which is what he is. He has degrees in computer science, physics, and electrical engineering. So he's done well. He's even managed to learn to speak Greek and Spanish. He had a girlfriend from Central America. There's nothing like a good girlfriend to teach a young man another language, but he's done well. The other 3 are just fine. They were a big help
Oh, yes.
in bringing Chris along. They even used to trick him, but that's all part of life, you know. And it was never malicious. It was always friendly. For instance, we once were at the beach, and the little girl next door made friends with our daughter, and she asked our daughter why our son Chris has a foreign accent and the rest of us don't. So Eva told him he went to school in France. So it turned out this little girl spoke French, and she went up to Chris and she started speaking French to him. And he turned to me and he said, "How come I can't read her lips?" So it was that kind of teasing that went on, and it was very healthy, because he was never self-conscious about his hearing. In fact, he used to take off his hearing aids and let little kids listen to him. They're all very curious. So he grew up in a healthy way, no shame,
Or
or
embarrassment.
embarrassment, and that's a problem for young kids really, who are made to feel embarrassed. We knew parents who were ashamed of their deaf children and just kept them locked away. But we never did that. We expected him to take his place in life, and he has.
Yeah.
So that bound us very tightly together, and I think we were quite compatible. We never sat down and talked about how we're going to have a good marriage. It just happened. And
You mentioned division. You said he works outside, you worked inside. That's sort of like a division of responsibilities, a division of power.
yeah,
So
Well, I
did
did
you ever have like a place to talk about those things? Or do you have like I once spoke to somebody, they said they have a kitchen table, and that kitchen table is the table of conversation where, you know, don't see eye to eye on dealing
well,
with
we surely had a kitchen table, and we didn't see eye to eye always, but
No,
like
no way.
any other couple. But we never held grudges, and we were tolerant. I mean, especially Teddy, she was very tolerant with me. You know the kind of career I had. I mean, she would have to be tolerant. And there were times when I was gone weeks and months at a time, and she was at home with 4 little children. She did a great job with them, and so my career was unusual. It sometimes kept me away for a long time, and she put up with it quite well. I never heard her once complain about my being away. Who knows? Maybe she liked it. I don't know. But I hope that wasn't the case. And you know, I was always proud of her. When we first married, she sang in the Bach choir. She was in a number of musicals. And what else did you do? She took ballet lessons. She was in the best condition of any woman you can imagine. And when she had our first child, she got a little upset when the obstetrician said, "You're not normal." She said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You're recovering way too fast." Well, it's because of the ballet training. I mean, so in that sense, our marriage was colorful in that we did unusual things together. Our children were very unusual too. They were terrific kids. We had three sons and then a daughter. She still claims it took us four tries to get it right. And that may be true. I told her if her brother Alex had been a girl, she wouldn't be here. But she takes that all in good stride. Alex, the youngest boy, was a little guy, but he was an All-American athlete in college. The big guys, the older ones, they were good, very good athletes too, but they weren't All-Americans. Our oldest son, Chris, uh, was an athlete from a little boy, but he often got discriminated against because of his hearing. And that's not just a supposition on my part. I mean, I heard it where they would say, "Oh, he's a good one. Let's pick him for our team." Another guy would say, "Well, he's deaf." I say, "Oh, okay," and they wouldn't choose him. But he fought through that, and he ended up playing soccer all over the world. He played for the national soccer team for the deaf. Very good team. They all were top-notch collegians wherever they came from. That team used to scrimmage the local colleges and beat them all the time, and they showed up very well in the worldwide competition.
Eddie, what would you say has helped? What do you like about the marriage, and what are some of the things that you think have given you the opportunity and to stay in a 61-year plus marriage? What are some of the things that you felt during this time you either learned or you would suggest to others to give some thought to?
I think um, I think I looked at it as a responsibility to my children, and through the hard times, and there were lots. I mean, there's no point in denying that. Um, when you have little ones, that's very trying to keep a marriage going. But then again, if you don't have them, then it's hard too, because then you've got all that uh, void. But in any case, when we were raising the children, I think it was a sense of responsibility and the fact that we knew that the most important thing was that the children had to grow up with a mother and a father in the same house. And I always kept my eye on the prize, at the end, because I felt that it was the most important thing. And so you learn to, overlook things, and you learn to respect each other's feelings and uh, look at things from everyone's point of view, so that you can keep things going and keep together. I think that was
How
probably.
about a new young couple? What would you suggest for a new young couple? And I guess one saw one on the other side of the bar, and they fell in love like that. And they looked at him and her. They looked at each other, and physically they were attracted, and they had the guts to get up and walk over and to talk to each other.
Yes.
What would you say they should say when they finally went and got next to each other?
Oh.
Well, I think one thing that people overlook is you got to like each other. I mean, that's
Yeah.
very distinct from being in love and singing love songs and so you got to like each other and you got to enjoy being together, and we always did. We didn't have our first child until we were married for 5 years because we were having so much fun together. And I was going to graduate school. Teddy had her dance and her music and her singing and things like that, and we thoroughly enjoyed those things. And when the children started coming, why that changed quite a bit. Uh, and I played a lot of sports, so that was an outlet for me. Teddy's had her. She at one point had a puppet show that she put together, and she would go from school to school and perform for the children. So she kept her artistic uh, interests alive too, and I was always very proud of her. And that was all part of the. I don't want to call it a mystique because it was completely out in the open. I was proud of her. That's that.
So you two are industrious people. You're not kind of come home and take a beer and watch sports all day. I mean, you have involved life, involved
We were
career.
involved in life, and in fact, in in my book, I have when the main character talks to Pericles and the main character is depressed, and Pericles says, "It's not like someone like you who's so involved in life to be so depressed." And I think that's all part of it. If you're involved in life, you won't have as much of a tendency to be depressed, and therefore your marriage will be smoother.
Because you'll move on from these ups and downs that do come no matter what. You do get some big bills in life, and you do get some heartache
I'll tell
in
you,
life.
having a deaf child was a huge disappointment, of course, and I felt sorry for myself until one day. The thing about Chris, he was deaf, yes, but he was very lively and intelligent and fun to be around. And we loved playing. I used to take him swimming
There
at
was a
our
pool in
pool,
our apartment. Yeah.
at our pool. And one day I was there with him, and this man came in with a severely retarded child. And I saw him trying to get this poor kid to respond in some way. And I looked at that and I said, "There, but for the grace of God, go I," because the cause of his deafness could also have left him retarded and misshapen. And actually, sometimes these kids from prenatal measles turn out to be insane as well. So he was only deaf. That may sound silly, but that's about as mildly as you can get away with this. And he was able to overcome it. He was eager to speak, he was extremely intelligent. And after a while, we actually, since forgot about his deafness and moved ahead with life. He went to school, he studied, he worked hard, he was an athlete, he's fun. He's still a fun guy to be around. He's married himself, he's got 4 children, and he's raising them about the way we raised him. So that speaks well for us.
This is beautiful. Last question. I'm going to ask you first, Nicholas, and then I know it's ladies first, but I'm going to ask Nicholas first. I would like you to finish with that, Teddy. What does love mean to you?
I'm sorry?
What does love mean
What
for
is
you?
love to you?
Oh, that's a tough question. The bards have been trying to answer that one for many centuries. I suppose it's different for everybody, but for me, she's a sweetheart. What can I say?
Yes, I know.
She really is. She doesn't like the way I comb my hair sometimes, and she's always after me to be more systematic and be neater and so on. But those things are concerns out of love. And when someone loves you that much and that well, it's impossible not to respond. So for me, it's liking each other, enjoying each other's company, and being feelings of loss without them.
Beautiful, beautiful. Teddy, what's love for you?
Well, I I don't know. Just being around him makes me feel loved because he is so loving, and he
That's not what you said this morning.
no, he really is, and it's just nice knowing that he'll come to bat for me no matter what comes up, and I'm glad he's on my side.
Well, she said I do outside work. There were times when I had to go threaten people to leave our son alone
Yeah.
because shockingly, there were people, some of them adults, who took advantage of him because he couldn't hear them sneaking up behind him. So old outside work had to go and actually had to threaten one family to leave him alone. So
Like if you really, when you have something wrong that is obviously outwardly wrong, it's very amazing, eye-opening to see how different people react to it,
Yeah.
and how some people can be extremely mean, and other people can be extremely kind, and then others are frightened, and it's an eye-opener.
well, the human race bears all kinds of things from extremely good to extremely bad. Fortunately, most of us fall in the middle somewhere. And so it's that, you know, if you threaten somebody I love, I'm going to react. That's all that's
So
to it.
that's why I say I'm glad he's on my side.
I love you both. Thanks so
Thank you.
much for taking some time to speak with us and share your
Pleasure. Good to see you again, and stay in
life.
touch.
You stay well, enjoy everything in regards to your family. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you very much.
much, Paul. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.